This is my Arai GP6S helmet that I recently purchased to get back into drifting. I've always been a big fan of Arai. I've never owned one, but I finally decided to bite the bullet and get one. There are a lot of different brands that you can pick, but personally I've always been a fan of Arai. All the old D1 drivers, all the old drivers in Japan, or nearly everyone uses Arai, and they've just got such a good reputation. So I thought I might get that, and I recently went to Japan last year, and the car copped a bit of a beating with all the scratches bumping my head on my roll cage, which sits a little bit low. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be scuffing it all back, and we're going to be giving it a whole new look. I've recently been playing around with painting my rocker cover, and also just playing around with a lot of different aerosol, specifically aerosol, as I don't have a compressor. And I thought that I might as well just give it a try and see how we can make a helmet look using a little bit of vinyl stenciling. But pretty much it's going to be a purple helmet with silver and gold flames. It'll probably change halfway through because things won't look good, and then we might change, but who knows. So come with me on this journey, we'll see how we go, and hopefully it looks good. So I've been practicing a lot with these carbon fiber license plates I've got. So what I've done is, this is actually the gold that we'll be using, and I've stenciled that out using a vinyl outline, painting it, and then peeling it off, and then finished in a holographic flake. That was a simple design. We then moved over to a little bit more of a complex design. This is using the same purple paint that we'll be using for the helmet. Again, we did all the lettering with vinyl, and then as you can see, it's kind of got like a silver to gold gradient, which is cool. And then again as well, finished in a very heavy holographic flake. But first, let's get this out of the garage. Sadly, I don't get to drive this car nearly as much as I want to, but let's see if it's even gonna start. It works. Yeah, I really just don't get to drive this car very often. It's literally so dirty. But I wish I could drive it more. Also the fact that like our focus has kind of shifted right now to working on a new business that we'll be announcing very soon. And also the car in Japan, which is more of a driving car, where this is just a show car. But it's always good to pull this car out. I wish I got to drive it more often. It looks cool, people enjoy it. I'll probably just end up keeping it pretty low key and no permanent modifications, but just something that we can show our creativity with products and designs and everything. So yeah. So the paints we're going to be using for this were all purchased from DNA Paints here in Melbourne in Scoresby. I've picked up everything from them, and I'll run you through what we're going to be using. So pretty much we're starting with a primer. It's a 1K multi-connector primer, and then we're going to be going over to a smashed metal base coat. So that's a silver, and that'll cover the whole helmet. And then from there, what we do is the whole helmet will be silver, and then we have a bright gold metallic base coat. And what we'll do is essentially the whole helmet will be silver, and then we're going to run a gradient. So the front half of the helmet will be gold, and the back half will be silver. But we're going to start off with a whole silver base first, and then after that's done, we'll be applying our stencils, and then putting a magic purple metallic base coat all over the whole thing, and then after that, once that comes off, we will be applying a 100 micron hollow flake. So it is a holographic flake, but this is probably the biggest flake particle you can get out of an aerosol tip. So they didn't want to sell it to me, but I said, look, I'm happy to buy it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I don't care. But I've done some testing and that does work. Doesn't get clogged, which is good. And then on top of that, we'll be finishing it off with a 2K custom clear high gloss, which this is a multi-part. So you pop it in there and then I guess it all comes together. And then that's a hardener in there as well as the clear coat. So that gives it a really, really good gloss, but that's last. We'll be doing a few coats of that. So as well as the stencils, we also will be maintaining the Arai logo. We'll be cutting that out, and then that will be on the gold side, so that'll be gold, and then we'll be doing something on the back as well, which that'll then be silver. So essentially it's going to be like a gold to silver blend, so it should look pretty cool. I mean, my render that I did on Photoshop looked good. It's what I picture, so I mean, hopefully it works. If it doesn't, no, well, it doesn't matter. I can scuff it back and repaint it, but I've got a feeling it will work. So yeah, now what we're going to do is we're going to pull everything apart, all the visor, start masking everything, and then scuff it all back and get it nice and rough, ready for the primer. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm very scared, but I'm excited, so let's go. So to take the visor off, we have a flathead screw here. And make sure whenever you undo these, you keep them all, because I can't see them being very easy to get your hands on. This is a 2-part screw with base, and then this one as well is a screw with a little plastic base. Over to the other side, the same thing. That's the visor off. And then on top of that, we have to remove this here, which that's essentially like a little lever to lift the visor up. So we'll undo that. So that is no visor and ready to start stripping back. So we just got to strip this Arai sticker. I'm going to take these other stickers off. We have this terminal port thread, which we'll be taking that off and then masking in there. All the Arai stickers, and then sanding it all back. So the helmet is all the stickers are removed. There's still a little bit of residue, which is fine. I'm sure with the sandpaper that'll all come off. And yeah, it's looking a little bare. But yeah, what we'll do now is we'll mask it up and start scuffing it all back. Preparation is the key when it comes to making anything look really good. Sometimes, obviously, impatience can get the better of you, but just take that extra step just to get it looking as good as possible, and take your time. It'll be worth it in the end. So this is all done. This is all masked up. Gone through and made sure everything is masked up and then nothing is overhanging. And we are ready to go the first coat of primer. I've just got one of these, I think it's from like a cake making base which spins, which is pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do is, instead of actually going around the helmet, I'm just going to spin it with this, and it should make it a little bit easier. So we're just going to go light coats. So this is the first coat of primer done. As you can see, it's still very patchy. I will keep putting on layers until we get a completely even surface. I'm trying not to put too much of it on. I don't want runs or anything, but before we proceed, we need to get it completely solid color with no white behind showing. So I'll continue to put layers on. I'm just going to let this flash dry. and then give it maybe 10 minutes. It is a little bit cold today, so maybe longer, and then we can go from there. And once it's completely covered and there's no white showing, we can go through to just giving this a bit of a sand. Now that's starting to look a lot more full. You can't really see much white shining through, but it does have a bit of a rough texture, which comes from the primer. What I might do is I might just quickly hit this lightly with a heat gun just to help cure it, and then all these spots here, we'll start sanding it all down and get it a nice perfect base for the base silver. So I've left it for a few hours and the paint has somewhat cured, and it seems to be sanding back pretty good. It's very smooth. Alright, done. So first up we got the Smash Metal Metallic Base Coat. Before you paint anything, make sure you give your cans a really good shake. As you can see, the Smash Metal base coat is very beautiful. Okay, so I got a little impatient. It's later in the night and I've decided to just start scuffing this back a little bit. It's all pretty dried. This is where I've sanded it and it's very smooth, but it's looking pretty cool. I just really want to finish and see what it looks like, but I'm happy with it so far. So it's day 2. I've fully let this cure. I've sanded it back. It's feeling really smooth, and I think it's ready for the gold gradient or the gold half gradient. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I know I can do it, but it's just like I don't want to go through this process again if I do make any mistakes. So we'll just take it really slow, observe how wide the spray is, and then just go from there. Just slowly keep adding it, find that nice gradient, and then give it a few decent coats so the front half is completely gold. So our gold is done. As we can see, the gradient actually looks not too bad. Pretty happy with the way it came out and glad I don't need to do it again. So I've scuffed it back a little bit just to get it nice and smooth. Overall it came out, it laid pretty even. There's no drips, nothing, so happy with that. But what we're going to do now is the next step is applying the decals and then doing the stencil. So what I will be doing is I do have a 1K clear. This is a non-activation, so it's just clear coat. I'll be doing a light coat of it, letting it cure, and then from there we can apply our vinyls and then not worry about it actually peeling any of the paint away. So yeah, we'll do that, let that cure, leave it for a bit of time. It's pretty warm outside, so it shouldn't take too long, and then we can apply our decals and then finish it off with the purple, which I'm excited to see. So yeah, let's put that 1K clear and go from there. So the clear coat has dried up. It is nice and smooth, but I think I might give it a bit of a sand, and then we can start applying the stencils. So now comes the fun part. I'm just got a wet rag. I'm just gonna damp the helmet a little bit, so then when I apply my decals, they can be movable and they're not completely stuck down. So if you're going to be doing this, one thing you might consider is you don't want your vinyl to be too tacky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on a hoodie here, just to drop the tackiness a little bit. once it's on the actual helmet, it'll be completely fine and it will stay in place. So then once the paint gets on, it's going to push it further towards the helmet and it's going to stay in place. So that took longer than expected. I managed to get it relatively symmetrical on both sides. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and I figured out the best way to do it is, because I'm using a stretchy vinyl that I use for decals, so the best way to do it is to completely drench, like with a very, very, very damp towel, the back of the sticky side of the decal, and then as well as the helmet, and then that way you can maneuver it wherever you want to do it. As you can see, I do have a few creases, and what I've done is I've just got some Tamiya 3mm masking tape, which is very, very fine, and I've just gone around the edges just to get it all smooth, so when we do lay the paint down, it's fine. I've also continued the design down here, and yeah, I think overall it looks pretty cool. Just got to make sure before we do anything that obviously all the creases aren't lifted and they're completely pressed down. Now the fun part of putting on the decal. I do have an Arai decal that I have cut out. This is the exact dimensions of the original one, and I'm going to be putting it in the exact location, which is about 3.5 centimeters from the top of the port. So we'll be doing that, as well as on the back I've got this Sokudo design that I did a while ago, and I've always wanted to use it, so that'll go on the back there where all the points meet. So yeah, let's put it on, and then once that's done, we are ready to start painting. Now for the daunting part, all that hard work to just paint over it. So we're using the DNA Paints Magic Purple metallic base coat. Okay, so that is 3 coats. The color's actually really nice, and I'm so excited to see what the gradient looks like underneath this. But full coverage, looks good. There were a few issues on the front where it looks like it lifted a little bit, and I hope paint didn't get in, but if not, I'll just have to run a little bit of gold paint, touch it up, but I hope not. Okay, so I've let this dry for a few hours, and what you want to do is you just want to be able to touch it, make sure it's not sticky and it's lost that glossiness, and it's kind of gone a matte. And I've just tried peeling one of the pieces away and it's peeled off nicely, so I guess here we go and peel them all off. I don't know why I'm so nervous. If you try to pull it off and it seems to be cracking, it means that you've left it too long. But if you do that and it seems to be lifting it up and peeling, that means it's too wet. So you should be able to just get a very easy, nice peel. Okay, so it's been a few hours. I've let this dry, and I've touched up a little bit, as you can see there. It's a bit thicker. What I've done is I've just got a Q-tip, spray painted in there, and then slowly went over the tips there. It doesn't look that great, to be honest. As well as here, there's a bit of a mark And then what I've done is I've just sprayed over it, I masked it up, sprayed over it, so then hopefully the sanding will get that out. And then as well as here, there's a little bit of, that's, the paint's come off, which kind of sucks, but look, first helmet, it's not going to be perfect. I'm pretty happy with the way it's come out. It should look a lot better once a lot of these lines are smoothed out with sanding, but yeah, look, I'm happy. That's good enough for me. So we're ready to do our layer of holographic flake. As I said, this is DNA paint, 100 micron. I think it's 100 or 100 micron holographic flake. It looks good once it's applied. They don't sell it, but I mean, if you want it, maybe tell them, express interest so they can release it to the public. Nothing says 2000 Japan more than holographic flake on everything, so pretty happy with that. Might go a few more layers to get it a bit more poppy. So we've sprayed on enough holographic flake that we're happy with now. I think it looks good. Haven't put too much, but it's very noticeable and it looks really cool in the sunlight. Now it is time for the 2K custom clear. This is a two-part paint. So what you do, you've got like a little lid thing here, put it onto the bottom, press it down, it'll join everything together and then you can start spraying. I think this only lasts, once you activate it, I think only about 24 hours. So you want to get everything done that you can do in that time. So I guess let's do this. I really would love to finish it tonight. So then tomorrow it can just dry and we can get some photos outside once we got sunlight. So, all right, let's do this. As you can see, just one coat makes it look amazing and it really brings out the gloss and also helps the flake pop. It looks so good. Very happy with that. We'll go another 2 layers or coats and then I think we're all done. Welcome back to day 3 of the custom Arai helmet. Last night what I did was I finished 3 coats of clear. I got a little bit impatient, went a little bit too hard, so we do have a few drips right here, which is on the final coat, which was coat 3. But that's fine, that's very easy. I'll just sand that out and then polish the whole helmet. And then as well as everything went well, but I really learned the importance of masking correctly. If you see inside around the where the port is, it wasn't masked properly and I do have some white showing. So a little bit annoying. Also just around some of the other masking areas it looks like it's wasn't masked correctly, but that's fine. What I'm going to do is I do have a very fine brush which I will be putting a little bit of paint in this little cut up cup that I have, and then I'll just slowly run along all those exposed areas, and then that's all. I mean, look, it's not the best. I'm very happy with the way it came out. The quality is amazing. For my first helmet, I have to say I'm proud, but yeah, I can't wait to fit it up with my new visor and put all the hardware back in. So let's get to it and get this finished today. So I just used this brush, sprayed a little bit of paint into this cup and just fixed it all up. I mean, it looks pretty good. This will all be covered by the visor anyway, so really doesn't matter, but overall Pretty cool. So I've decided to start assembling the helmet. I'm going to fix these drips up the back. I'm just going to wait for it to properly cure, but I can put everything else on just to get an idea on how it looks. I don't think you guys really need to see how to fix drips, but let's put it all together, because I did get a new visor that I want to put on, so I'm really excited to see how it all looks. So let's put it all together. So this is a visor that I had purchased to install onto this helmet. It's a reflective blue, green, purple. I had it in mind when I came up with the color combination for the helmet, so it should look pretty cool. I haven't mocked it up yet, so I'm pretty excited to do that. So it's been about 4 days since I've finished clear coating the whole helmet. The drips that are on the back, I just ended up sanding them back with a 1500 and then a 2000 and then finishing with a 2500. After that, just polished the area and you can't even see where that was. There were a few other little imperfections which I just ended up sanding with a 2500 and then polishing, but pretty much just went over and polished the whole helmet. And to be honest with you, I'm very happy with the way it came out. For someone who has no experience in painting and without a booth and all with aerosol, I'm very happy with the outcome. So before we wrap this video up, I just want to finish it off by adding a few extra stickers. So the first sticker that we have going on the helmet is this Sokudo visor sticker, which covers the whole top of the visor. This is our new brand Sokudo, and this is our take on Japanese 2000 style car dress up parts and accessories. We do have a range releasing very, very soon, and I thought no better way than to put this sticker on now and show you guys. So we have that, as well as, of course, a 3-up sticker, which will be going on the front, and again, just to support the family in Japan. So yeah, we'll be doing that, and then the helmet will be done. I'm sure more stickers will be covered in it in the future, but for now, that's all we got. Just gonna get this visor really wet, so then we can maneuver the sticker around. So what we have done is we have put a little mark right in the middle of the sticker, so it's easier to line up and get it perfect. So what we're gonna do is we will peel this off, get it nice and centered, and then we can go from there. You can maneuver this sticker within reason. It does have a bit of flex in it, so you can kind of just shape where you want it to go. But you don't want to go too much, because then you'll end up getting a crease. But once you do, you can kind of get it pretty bang on the top of the visor. That ends up looking not too bad. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to find out more information about Sokudo or anything else, you can follow us on Garage Sokudo on Instagram, or else subscribe here. We'll be posting more content. Thanks, and see you on the next one.